The whole world is shaking, and the automotive space is in complete chaos. Because nobody saw the attack coming from this direction. Ferrari, one of the most untouchable names in automotive history, is suddenly under fire, and the people asking the hardest questions aren't journalists or regulators, they're the fans. Independent builder Matt Armstrong has completed repairs on his Ferrari, but the car will not start, not because of mechanical failure, but because Ferrari's software will not allow it. The response from the automotive community has been sharp and immediate. Longtime Ferrari defenders are now publicly questioning the brand's approach to ownership, and some of the criticism is being aimed squarely at Ferrari's leadership. This is a story about what happens when the most prestigious name in automotive collides with the right to repair movement and who blinks first. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe to this channel because the fallout from Matt Armstrong's latest update is bigger than anyone expected. Ferrari is now under intense pressure from fans and car enthusiasts worldwide. Let's recap what triggered this massive response. Matt Armstrong successfully completed a full rebuild of a crashed Ferrari, right down to every mechanical detail, in his garage with just his dad and a cameraman helping. The exact procedure Ferrari claimed was impossible outside their factory just happened at Black Horse Performance, documented step by step for millions to see. Every tricky component, every system was rebuilt and assembled exactly as it should be. Ferrari, however, refused to let Matt start the car, even after the rebuild was fully complete. The car was ready, fully functional, but Ferrari locked it down. Fans could finally see the car live on camera, and they realized there was nothing unsafe or impossible about what Matt had done. Everything worked logically, as any engineer would expect. Electrical systems, fuel lines, and critical engine components all came together without factory-only tools. That's the moment the narrative officially broke. Ferrari's claims of restricted access or special procedures were exposed as unnecessary. The rebuild wasn't just completed, it proved that a methodical, careful approach could safely and fully restore the car outside Ferrari's control. That revelation is what's fueling the chaos in Ferrari's community right now and why fans have erupted online. The comment sections under posts about this Ferrari rebuild have turned into a full-blown battleground. Fans aren't holding back, and some of the reactions toward Ferrari, and even the CEO, are savage. One user wrote, "If a YouTuber can rebuild the car, Ferrari shouldn't stop him from starting it. Ferrari is creating unnecessary controversy." That comment exploded almost instantly, gathering thousands of likes and replies. And that's the key. This isn't just criticism for being proven wrong. It's about how Ferrari handled the situation. Instead of working with Matt to find solutions, they shut him out entirely. No warning, no explanation. Another user went even harder. This is exactly why the right to repair movement exists. Owners should have the freedom to repair and use their own cars. And whatever mashup car they're using parts to make today, called Bespoke, has been exposed by Matt Armstrong. Well done, Matt. Support you 110%. That's not casual criticism. That's a complete loss of faith in the brand. The irony? Ferrari prides itself on innovation and craftsmanship, but when someone actually proves it outside their control, they react by blocking him. Fans are seeing it and they're furious. The comments calling Ferrari liars and bespoke jokers are coming from people who were defending the brand just weeks ago. These aren't haters, they're enthusiasts who feel misled. When your own customer base starts questioning whether your engineering is truly special or just glorified expensive parts, that's a serious brand problem. Some community members are claiming Ferrari is monitoring everything Matt Armstrong does with this rebuilt car. One commenter joked that if you walk into Ferrari's factory and shout Matt Armstrong, everyone would run away. That's an exaggeration for humor, but the sentiment underneath feels real. Ferrari is reportedly watching this rebuild closely. And the concern makes sense. This isn't just one Ferrari being rebuilt. That's why this story has captured global attention. It's about more than one car. It's about ownership versus control. And Matt is advancing that argument one documented bolt at a time. Now, the big question being debated across social media is whether Ferrari's CEO and leadership look competent in all this. Some critics argue that Ferrari publicly drew a hard line and blocked Matt from starting the car, which damaged their credibility when challenged. A different strategy might have involved controlled collaboration or limited support that showed confidence instead of defensiveness. Others argue Ferrari was simply enforcing long-standing corporate policy. Either way, perception matters, And at the moment, fans are furious. But that's where it got worse. Because Ferrari's decision to lock the car didn't just affect Matt. It sent a message to every single person who has ever bought one of their vehicles. The message was simple. You own the car, but we own the keys. And that idea, that a manufacturer can remotely, digitally, indefinitely hold your property hostage, is what turned a YouTube rebuild story into a global conversation about the future of car ownership itself. Think about that for a second. Matt didn't modify the car. He didn't void a warranty claim. He rebuilt it. He restored it. He brought something back from the dead through pure skill and dedication. And Ferrari's answer to that was a software wall. No court order, no mechanical reason. That is not a safety policy. That is control. Now here's the crazy part. Ferrari is not the only manufacturer doing this. This is an industry-wide playbook, and most buyers have no idea it exists. Digital immobilizers, proprietary diagnostic systems, software locks that only certified dealers can bypass. The Ferrari situation with Matt Armstrong isn't an isolated edge case, but because it happened to someone with a camera, a global audience, and the patience to document every single step, the curtain got pulled back. And once people see behind it, they don't unsee it. And fans noticed something shocking in the comment sections this week. A former Ferrari owner posted that they had sold their car after watching this story develop. Not because of Matt's rebuild, because of Ferrari's response to it. That comment got buried under thousands of replies, mostly from people saying they felt exactly the same way. Former defenders, lifelong fans, people who spent serious money on the brand, now openly questioning whether that brand deserved their loyalty. That is reputational damage in real time. Not from a competitor, not from a bad product review, from a YouTube channel run by a guy, his dad, and a cameraman in a garage. Here's what makes Ferrari's position so difficult right now. There are only a few ways this plays out, and none of them are clean. If Ferrari stays silent, the story keeps growing. Every new upload from Matt, every new milestone he hits, becomes another headline. Every day the car sits in that garage, unable to start, is another day fans have something to be angry about. Silence reads as guilt. If Ferrari pushes back publicly, they have to explain themselves. And any explanation that involves restricting the use of a privately owned vehicle is going to face serious scrutiny. And if Ferrari quietly releases the lock, or lets the car be started without an official statement, they've effectively admitted that the restriction was never really about safety, which is the one thing they absolutely cannot afford to admit. Matt Armstrong has not finished this story yet, and that's the thing nobody knows the answer to. Not Ferrari, not the right to repair advocates, not the fans. What we do know is that the pressure on Ferrari is not going away, and every day this stays unresolved, the story gets bigger, the scrutiny gets sharper. And the question that started all of this, who actually owns your car once you drive it off the lot, gets harder to avoid. Stay subscribed, because this is not over. The next update from Matt Armstrong's garage may be the one that changes everything. And when it drops, you are going to want to have seen everything that came before it.